All right, Stokastic, here we go. It's your old pal EMAC coming to you with one Eric Lindquist, Team Eric, as we bring you into a Friday just before the holiday weekend. That means lots of drafts this weekend. Home leagues in full swing. I've got my worldwide online draft tonight at 9:30. We are drafting in 7 time zones this year, from Singapore to I forget where everybody else is, and then 3 U.S. time zones. So yeah, a bunch of college buddies, and then one of my friends, one of my college roommates, is teaching abroad. So he has literally taught English in 6 different countries over the last 25 years. So
it's pretty cool.
He picks up different people for the league at each stop. So it's a fun one. But
that's wild.
That doesn't help us for tonight. Do you still have any long-time home leagues going on?
So yeah, I've got my home league. We do a draft. I'm hosting at the house on Sunday night. So we've got everybody. We've got 14 guys coming over to kick it, and let's see. I've got that. I've got my basketball league still with my dad, my father's son. We've done since I was 17, so that's going to be the 20th year this year of my father's son fantasy basketball league, which is pretty wild to say. And MLB, I have basically sold all of my teams of Dynasty because I want nothing to do with them anymore. So after 4 years of being here, I just said enough is enough. So year number 5 here, I sold off every Dynasty team. So basically just football and then the one basketball team. So pretty chill, chill.
Good times. For those of you, as we gather on in, let's see, how many people we got watching now? Like 100 or so, maybe 200. That's pretty good. I will let everybody know that DraftKings kind of sponsoring some of our shows here. So I want to call out Best Ball Week. Why, yes, it is Best Ball Week. If you guys have not yet signed up for DraftKings, let me put this on the screen. DraftKings. Go to the promo page for Best Ball here under the Rewards Center, and you will see all sorts of goodness for Best Ball Week. So live right now, if you have not yet performed this particular mission, click on opt-in, and you can get either a $20 Best Ball ticket, or you can get a $5 Week 1 NFL Millionaire ticket. If you draft one team, you get the $20 Best Ball team if you draft 4. Slow drafts count, but they all need to be starting by midnight Eastern tonight. Also up here, same thing, needs to be done by midnight tonight, but you get a $100 ticket if you draft in the $5 million Monster Millionaire. That is a $555 ticket. And then everybody, I'm going to opt in right now. Everybody, if you deposit here, you can get a free ticket for, let's see, what's all the details. You get a free NFL Week 1 ticket for $15. That's their showdown contest. And then you get a couple Week 1 $5 contests. So check that out. That is Best Ball over on DraftKings. And of course, EMAC, we don't have any Best Ball rankings. We don't want to spend money on that. No problem. If you come up here, even if you do not have a Stokastic subscription, you can get our Best Ball rankings. All you need is a Stokastic account. You can get them for DraftKings, Underdog, and Drafters. Check that out. Ooh, look, they were just updated. All right. That was a big read, but it's important because shout out to DraftKings for throwing a little scratch our way and giving us some Best Ball glory. How many Best Ball teams you doing this year, Mr. I gave up all fantasy football?
I not nearly as many as last year. Last year I had a lot. This year I've got probably 40 that I've done. It's been a far lesser number, but I will be doing these DraftKings Best Balls all the way up until now because 1, there's a chance that it potentially doesn't fill, but 2, I think with more information now, you're probably in a better spot this year to draft now than what you were in previous years where, I think that you just have more information of what backfields are going to look like. I think your 18th, 19th, 20th round draft picks are going to be complete awesomeness. Now, people always want to talk about, oh, well, if you didn't jump on this guy now, he's going in like the 9th round now. And it's like, yeah, for every one of those that shows up, there are 3 or 4 consequential players that you can put into your lineup on the back half of those drafts. And DraftKings, I love that it's a little bit longer draft than what you're getting over at some other sites. You get the full 20. So like, I love the product that they put together, and they've got all these great best ball offers going where it's like happy hour. You draft 2 of them, you'll get a $5 ticket or a milli ticket. It's incredible stuff over at Best Ball and DraftKings.
All right, now let's talk baseball, because of course that's what time it is. It is Friday, 13 game slate on FanDuel and DraftKings, 15 gamer over on their secret site. That is Yahoo, starts at 6:40. If we look here, I'm going to be sharing the DraftKings top pitchers tool. We'll talk about FanDuel as well here. You're going to see a lot of similar names. There are pitchers at every price point tonight. There are some intriguing matchups. No super dominant pitcher, but some incredibly efficient ones here, Eric. So I'm going to hand this one over to you. On DraftKings, we have a couple pitchers, 2 in the 5-figure range. That would be Brian Wu going for Seattle. Every start this season, he has gone at least 6 innings. He is very efficient, leads the league with 14.34 pitches per inning. That is easily number 1, and he has been top 5 all season. The counter move to him is Nathan Eovaldi. He is going against the Cleveland Guardians. The park not quite as good as in Seattle, but the matchup's a little bit better, at least at avoiding power upside, going against the Guardians as opposed to the Athletics. How are you breaking down this dynamic duo?
Yeah, Brian Woo's really tough to not like today. And I will say this too. I think Max Fried's somebody that I'm nervous about some things. We've seen a lot of awards for him recently, but I do think Wu ends up getting more ownership than even what we've got put up right now. And that's the one thing I'm trying to consider, but it's such a good spot. You're in Seattle, the best ballpark you could possibly be a pitcher in. Brian Wu has just continually gotten up early in counts. He doesn't really waste a ton of pitches. He's given up a long ball here and there at times, but like overall, his stuff is just ridiculous. Again, he's just pinpoint accurate, location plus off the chart. That is the Brian Wu way. I'm a little surprised to see Max Fried pulling more ownership. And Nathan Eovaldi, I think, is kind of like the forgotten guy to some extent here. And it's such a good spot. I backed Texas. I bet them at -1. I really do like the idea of potentially getting to a little bit of Nathan Eovaldi and getting away from some of the Max Fried if that's actually going to be the case. But I guess my main concern is that we don't have Coors Field on this slate. We do have a pretty spread out offensive. We can kind of go to some cheaper stacks if we need to. I don't think his 10-5 salary is all that prohibitive. I think the only thing you could say negative is like Jacob Wilson's back, who is definitely good at avoiding strikeouts. And so he's batting 5th in that lineup for the Athletics today. That lineup rolled in just before this show. And the other thing is just ownership. I think the ownership, especially in small field, could be 40, 45%. And you start getting into that territory, and you're going to see a lot of people pairing it with Zebie Matthews, the value du jour. I think you're probably getting a little too chalky in that department, but the way we have it currently projected, I definitely prefer Brian Wu.
That is how I played it out. I've built my one lineup over there on the secret site. That would be a Yahoo. I went with Wu and Zebie Matthews. We'll get to Zebie when we talk about the cheaper pitchers, but he is pretty clear one of the best fantasy point per dollar options with his strikeout upside. You mentioned Max Fried there a little bit. I'm surprised to see him as the top most popular pitcher, although at 30%. It's again 26 game slate tonight, as Eric mentioned. No Coors Field, no Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento. We do have Steinbrenner Field here in Tampa, so that is the one bonus hitting area. But Cincinnati also on the road today, so there was really nothing exciting as we head into this weekend when it comes to ballparks. If we look at Max Fried, I believe the biggest appeal for him is that the Boston Red Sox lineup has seven hitters that strike out 25% or more against lefties this season. Only 2 are below average. Now, they're relatively well below average with Alex Bregman at just under 14%, and Ceddanne Raphael is at 19.4%, but everybody else just looks like a wind machine. That's interesting for Max Fried, but we want to remember Max Fried is not the most elite strikeout pitcher. Last couple years, 22.9% combined this year, 23.1% strikeout rate combined across lefties and righties. Last year, I think he's a tournament option. I don't want to do it in the cash games, though. Final thoughts on our top three?
No, it's just kind of like Nathan Eovaldi has a 3.4 WAR, 1.76 ERA, 3.15 expected ERA. I think a lot of what you're looking for his upside is going 7 innings, 5.5 K prop. I mean, nobody has some like can't miss K prop today. That's the other thing that's kind of interesting. Like Zebie Matthews is at 5.5 juice pretty heavily towards the over, and Brian Wu is 6.5, but juice towards the under ever so slightly over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minus 120 to the over, I suppose, minus 110 to the under. So they're the one market here, our sponsor, that is a little bit different than everybody else that's sitting there where it's either plus money or something else towards that over. If you're looking at the under there, 6.5 on DraftKings would definitely be the preferred spot. But I see no way around it, EMAC. Like, you're playing Brian Wu in cash. You're playing, I would assume, Max Fried in cash just based on where the ownership is. But for tournaments, I do want to try to find a path to get a little bit lower on Max Fried, but not crazy. It's just that Brian Wu stands out to me so much more if he's going to be at that kind of ownership. And I mean, Zebie Matthews is just getting jammed, absolutely jammed in the Sims as he should be.
Yeah, that's going to be the fun part, is building out the Sims and seeing where things go. I am playing 150 on FanDuel tonight. I will build out 25 or so on Yahoo, and then I'm going to hand build 6 or single lineup sim. That's the new hand building methodology here at Stokastic for my FanDuel lineups, because I like to have a little bit of control on that. I'm looking forward to the single lineup sim for building out NFL lineups for the leagues and the smaller field contests. Eric, we are just right around the corner from NFL. We're also literally tomorrow. Is tomorrow? Yeah, week 0 of college football.
My Iowa State Cyclones starting it off. So nothing like Ben Raza telling me that he's betting KSU right when I frickin' get into the meeting today. That put a sour patch kid face on me. But overall, you know, it's going to be fun to watch no matter what. I'm going to be playing some early morning golf while it's going on, and then watching it in my golf cart now. But overall, going to be awesome to have college football back.
Does your golf cart have a TV in it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it does.
Hashtag how rich. Look at that. This is why you got to follow Eric Lindquist's wagering over there on Tails.
It's just an iPad you stick into the little compartment. There's like a little clip that you put on your golf cart with it. It's pretty simple.
iPads these days, not much smaller than one of our family TVs that we had when I was growing up. That was black and white only.
You had to hit a little TV you had to hit on to get the picture. Yeah, whack it.
Oh, good times. Good times. Speaking of college football, if you guys want to get a taste, just dabble in a little DFS college football. Promo code COLLEGE gets you the week 0 full access package here to all the projections for $1. Those are done by Matt Gajeski. He has been off somewhere in the hinterlands eating nothing but tuna and what does he like to drink? Four Loko, and just preparing himself for college football. He has reemerged. He may shave before the show. Otherwise, you guys may not recognize him. But check that out. College is the promo code for Stokastic. College football, just $1 for the week 0 projections. I don't know when we got into calling this week 0. Is it because all week 1 is technically when everybody plays, and this is just dabbling a little bit?
Yeah, it gets it started. I mean, this is Iowa State, Kansas State. This is like Big 12. This matters. This is real football that we've got right from the get-go. But I think week 1 is basically when all of the teams are playing. Week 0 is like, yeah, it's like a little bit here, a little bit there. You get the Hawaii game, you get the Dublin game, like just so much different stuff going on. But yeah, it's fun to have Iowa State be the ones that kick off the football season this year.
I was looking ahead for my University of Washington Huskies, and they are playing 2 of their first 3 games. So we'll be kicking off at 11 p.m. Eastern, because the Big 12 network I'm assuming has said, hey, we've got some West Coast teams. We've got a network. Whenever you're at home, you're going to be the late night game for us. Dear God, I told my wife, and she's like, I don't want to hear you bitching the next morning about how you're tired and grumpy. So,
well, you're about to be tired on a lot of Friday or a lot of Sundays. Sorry, did the math wrong. Sunday's going to be a slow day in the EMAC crib. That's for sure.
Yes, fortunately, we will have football to recover to, and then of course I will be on the Sunday Night Football shows. We are right around the corner from that. Back to baseball here as we hit our middle tier. Shane Bieber, the Biebs, coming back, making his debut for Toronto. Looks like, if I remember correctly, 88 or 90 pitches in his last
90.
Was it 90 in his last
90.
Minor league rehab assignment? How do you like the Biebs today in Miami against the Marlins?
I like him a lot. This is kind of the tournament guy that I do want to be 2x the field at least on. I'm not going to be jamming him for a couple of reasons. One, it's not a great strikeout matchup relative to what we've had for previous iterations of this Miami lineup. Like, they've been more strikeout immune, and Jacob Marcy, Xavier Edwards, Agustin Ramirez, Otto Lopez, Liam Hicks. I mean, there are just not a ton of strikeouts in your main three guys that are up there. I mean, it's difficult. It gets better once you reach Hernandez there at 28%. Troy Johnston, 24 and change. Derek Hill is a walking strikeout. But this is still somebody that I think has elite stuff when he's healthy. I mean, we saw that to start off the season, too. He has 2 starts on the year. And Toronto took their time getting him back. One, they've been in the driver's seat here for a while now, where I don't think they have to worry about like a playoff spot at this point in time. Like, I think they're going to be all right no matter what, but you can't win in the AL and get through being Toronto unless you have a healthy Shane Bieber. Like, you got to figure out something to do with Chris Bassett. You got to figure out whether or not Kevin Gausman can be in there for you as well. Probably gets the nod over him, I would think, in like a series, but I think the major important thing is that if you have an ace like Shane Bieber back and doing ace things, you're live in the playoffs in the AL, especially if you end up winning the AL East here. So Toronto took their time with him, as they should. And now we got 90 pitches in his last AAA outing. They ramped him up in AAA before bringing him up. They didn't want to throw anything off until he was like fully ready to go. And I have him in for 94 pitches today. I think that is more than serviceable against a Miami team. And the opportunity cost isn't that high today either. That's the other part. Like, I listed off the strikeout props. Zebie Matthews, 5.5, 6.5 that you got there for Brian Wu, 5.5 for Nathan Eovaldi. We don't have the 7.5s, 8.5s where it's like, oh shit, this would take a lineup spot from so-and-so. You should definitely be mixing in this guy who's already lengthened out. And I just don't think people are recognizing how good he could be. And that's at 10%. Like, automatically I'm clicking on that.
All right, this just in from the producer. Apparently, I did not sell the 1 week package well enough. For just $1, promo code college gets you all the Stokastic college football sims included, and we now have the single lineup simulator for college football. Check this out. I'm going to have to change that. New for 2024. I think it's new for 2025, but that is college football 1 week, $1. Jump on that quickly. Moving on here, Mr. Lindquist, how are you feeling about the Snellabator going against his Padres here? Yeah. His former team. We've got former teams everywhere. He and you, Darvish, are the reverse former team tandem tonight here. What are you thinking about Snell as the last of our truly Bucks Deluxe options?
It's not a great spot, is it? Like, San Diego doesn't strike out a lot. They got better with O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano. Freddie Furman is so much better than they've had as any other catcher option, which is wild to say that like Freddie Furman is better. It's a guy that basically couldn't crack the lineup for Kansas City. Part of that is Sal Perez is a god behind the plate with his arm. But like, overall, this is still a San Diego team that just doesn't strike out a whole heck of a lot. I mean, in this lineup today, you get Ramon Laureano, 24.2%, but we know how dangerous he can be. And you kind of work through each individual piece. There's just not a lot of strikeouts available. Luis Ross, 2.8% strikeout rate, not even 5% against lefties. unbelievable how strikeout immune this guy is. I'm on his over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs for what it's worth. But Freddie Fermin, even down there, like where you would get normal catchers 26, 28% K rates. No, Freddie Fermin, 16 and change. Like, we're talking a very difficult spot. I don't have a ton of like pitch count concerns. This is obviously going to be a very high leverage series. This is going to be insanely entertaining, but like, as much as I want to just like go out and jam Blake Snell because he's going to be like lower owned than some of these other top tier guys, I think he's just somebody I'm going to end up around the field on when it's all said and done.
All right, quickly turning our attention to Yahoo before we march down the remainder of the pitching price list. We can see up at the top here, it's the same core four. It's got Wu, Fried, Evaldi, and then it slips a little bit. We're going to hand Zebie Matthews here over to Eric in just a moment. But if we look at the projected popularity currently, Max Fried on 1/3 of all lineups, that is a lot on FanDuel. It is because he has that significant $1,500 and $1,400 discount to Wu and Evaldi. But that is someone I think we can probably come in a little bit under the field. I'd be okay with about 20% on that one.
That's
Are you doing any FanDuel tonight?
I'm not today. Hanging out with our sponsor site, DraftKings, today. I also have a lot of bets in play, so just kind of like paying attention to that. Going to be updating that throughout the day over in Tails. So I do get the Max Fried ownership to some extent, but yeah, I still want to kind of focus over on like maybe some other pitchers that aren't 20% that haven't been getting absolutely shelled here recently. And some of his issues have come against lefties too. I mean, some of these splits I looked at last night for what's exactly going on with Max Fried, they're a little bit alarming. I mean, a 183 expected ISO against lefties does have a 30.7% K rate against them. So there's that. But, you know, he's only got like a 20 and change percent strikeout rate against righties. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them out there. So it's difficult for me to want to imagine too much exposure to Max Fried on FanDuel, where he struggles as much as he is. And you've got a ballpark that, you know, he's traditionally been doing all right in, but it's not easy to be pitching in whatsoever here. And, you know, when Duran and Ramon Anthony are your two lefties, they're above average as is. So I guess I'm just not seeing what the field is as far as like the extreme amount of Max Fried ownership there, but I'd be probably trimming him in half on FanDuel. On DK, where you have to play two pitchers, I totally understand the ownership, and I'm going to be okay embracing some of it. Won't get to the full 30%, but going to have a little bit.
All right. Zebie Matthews is our next talking point here. I know one of your favorites talking about the Stokastic, about your Minnesota Twins.
That's my team too. Stokastic.
Stokastic, yes, endorsing both with and as well as Team Eric here. So strikeouts, that is the key thing with the 25-year-old. That has him above Jose Quintana, who is probably a safer option per se. But the White Sox have been pretty pesky from time to time. No, I will say this: no easy outs in their lineup, but no fearsome bats either. A lot of youngsters, a lot of inexperience. When they're all rowing at the same time, they've put up some double-digit numbers. We've seen that since right before the All-Star break and up through even this week. But it's that's a little bit of smoke and mirrors, a little bit of fugazi. That any consistency coming up with that. How are you feeling about Zebie Matthews? Is he worth the $8,300 on FanDuel and the $7,700 on DraftKings?
Yeah, he definitely is. This is an amazing opportunity for Zebie Matthews to go ballistic. 33% K rate against lefties. I mean, we're talking this slider has one of the more ridiculous swinging strike percentages in baseball, 24.76%. We're talking insane stuff. And he's pretty good against righties too, 26.3% K rate there. But, you know, obviously knowing that the platoon, he's going to be getting more strikeouts potentially there. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 righties that are going to be out there that kind of neutralize it a little bit. 85 WRC plus on the season. They're just awful against righties as well. And it's better with like a Colson Montgomery in there. It's better with, some of these other pieces. Kyle Teal has been insane lately. Lennon Sosa, I really do like as a bat. Miguel Vargas, whenever healthy. I think he's just a guy who's going to loft it and hit a lot of homers going forward. But boy, oh boy, this is just such a good spot for him to drop into. And Andrew Benintendi now in the 7 hole here. I totally get what we're getting with Zebie Matthews in the Sims, and I'm happy to embrace it. I've got 70% of him, and I'm okay with it.
I like to hear that. Shout out here to Roland Rodriguez, who sent a picture to us on Twitter. Eric, he is sitting at Angel Stadium in the parking lot, and he's got his Angels flip-flops on. He's got some festive socks. It looks like Pac-Man ghosts are being represented there, if I'm looking at that correctly. It's one of the parks I've actually been to in person. I went there for the All-Star game, courtesy of ESPN back in the day. So shout out there to Roland.
I saw Ohtani hit like a 470-foot bomb. And also, this is the best Angels story the Angels Stadium story that I have. The very first time I ever went there, I left a no-hitter early. So I went to Weaver was pitching against my Minnesota Twins. And so I went to the game, and it was like 9-0 or 8-0 after 5 innings. And my girlfriend at the time and I ended up leaving and going to Disneyland because it was an absolute slaughter. And we had like Disney passes at the time. So I left Jared Weaver. I left a Jared Weaver no-hitter early against my Minnesota Twins. True story.
You didn't marry that girl, did you?
No, I did not. No.
Good call. Because your current wife wouldn't have left.
Your current
wife would have made you stay for the no-hitter.
No, but I mean, we were pulling everybody. I'm trying to remember, like everybody in that lineup, but I just remember being so excited to get down there, and it was like 8-0 right away, like in the first couple of innings. And I was like, all right, this is stupid. We got to go. And we left. I didn't realize it was a no-hitter because nobody's telling you that when you're in the stands through 5 innings. Nobody's being like, oh, by the way, it's a no-hitter.
Don't talk about no-hitters. That's why. They don't tell you in the dugout either.
Yeah, I didn't notice either. So there you go.
All right. After Zebie, who are some of the point per dollar guys you would like to take a chance on? Could it be Ryan Nelson? Could it be Quintana? We got a question about Cade Povich going against Houston. We just saw this Houston-Baltimore matchup last week. So they're running it back in Camden Yards. What do you see here down in the bargain bin section?
Oh, my God. We have a lot of guys that we can take shots on. I just don't know who I potentially would even start to back in like a major capacity. The first person to bring up is Ben Brown. Ben Brown sucks. He's terrible. He's no good. He's very bad. But this is an unbelievably good spot to find anybody just randomly dropped in. It's just a question of like, how far is he going to pitch into this one? Because like Javier Assad is going to start this game, correct? Like that's still the plan here for the Cubbies going forward is Javier Assad gets like 3-4 innings and then it becomes a Ben Brown. So like, I don't think you can really do anything with it, but the strikeout rate is so damn appealing that like, there's a world where like, hey, if you're just trying to get different, you could get 4, 5, 6 strikeouts there and have it work out for you in that capacity. But yeah, Javier Assad probably not going to be a play for me in any capacity because it just ends up being kind of a piggyback situation. And he doesn't have the strikeout stuff that Ben Brown does, even though Ben Brown usually gets his face blown off. So there is that. The other spot that kind of is appealing is Ryan Nelson against Cincinnati. Cincinnati has been kind of one of these hit or miss teams where like, yeah, you just never really know what you're going to get. The box of chocolates, if you will. Cincinnati on the season, though, you look at them against right-handed pitching, and it's not all that interesting to me. So sitting with a 99 WRC plus 152 ISO, so not a ton of power, not a ton of pop there at the top of this lineup. I think Ryan Nelson probably has one of the more interesting like ensembles of like a pitch mix because he's going to get hit up at times too, but he throws a 63% usage on a 4-seamer, but it sets up these other pitches in a way where like there's a lot of swing and miss you can get on a day in, day out basis, depending on how this Cincinnati lineup rolls out. We do have it here. It's in my sheet. You get Ellie De La Cruz. You get Oh, okay. Well, this sucks. You don't have Benson. You don't have some of the other guys that I would really want to see. McLean is batting ninth, who's your highest strikeout bat there. So probably not the most appealing spot now that we're talking through it here, but definitely was somebody that was randomly showing up. Aaron Savale, just because of what my Twins have become, they're a shell of themselves. I think I'm going to have a couple of Twins lineups, but like Aaron Savale at 6'3" is pitching over his head compared to what he is. But again, you're just kind of looking for the same thing over and over. It's almost like run prevention and then just randomly finding strikeouts, because everybody's got like 4.5 strikeout props. Everybody I've named is basically sitting at that identical number. And then I'm curious what you think about Cade Povich, because this is somebody that like falls into that same bucket of like a Ben Brown, but obviously he's starting this game going up against Baltimore. Or sorry, not going up against Baltimore, going up against Houston. He's starting for Baltimore. 25.5% K rate. And there are enough strikeouts here where like, if you really made me have to get off the board in like a single entry and really find a way of getting different, this guy's your cheapest pitcher. You don't usually have the cheapest pitcher on a slate with a 25.5% K rate. That's just not normal, EMAC.
No, and so regarding Povich, 10 strikeouts in his last outing. That was against this Houston team. It was in Dakin Park. So, or did they call it Dakin Park or Dakin Field?
Yeah, which is a worse ballpark for a lefty, which is kind of the ironic part. You have the Crawford boxes, short porch left, and now you have a cavern to left to some extent. It's not as good as what it was a year ago or 2 years ago, but it's still a lot further to hit it out of there to left. So I don't know. I've gone back and forth. I have 8% Cade Povich right now. I thought about spiking it up a little bit just because of what it could be. And 6K is at least appealing there. I don't trust Lance McCullers. I'd much rather stack against Lance McCullers. He's not your or my grandfather's Lance McCullers, that's for sure. His days of yesteryear are
that would be Lance McCullers Senior, by the way. See what I did there?
Well, he is that was genius, actually, because he is a junior for those who don't know. What is current ownership? Oh my God, what are we doing here? Oh, come on. That's definitely not the lotion play of the day. Is Povich getting recency bias ownership? Not really. Like, that's the thing, is that he's not pulling a ton of ownership. Nobody is. He's got like 6%, 7% ownership. I'm not going to pull the trigger on Darvish against the Dodgers. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I guess the one pitcher we haven't talked about that I think is at least fascinating to me on today's slate, he's not a cheapie, but Nolan McLean was really good to start off, got to 91 pitches. What do you think about him going forward?
I mean, he's no Michael Lorenzen. He's no Shohei Ohtani, but not too shabby either. Of course, he's just going to be pitching. Dreams of him being a position player have sort of been kiboshed. I know that's one of your favorite talking points. I had to bring that up there. Oh, I'm forgetting the guy who was
You're playing all the hits today, my friend. You're playing like all the hits. We're bringing up Four Locos. At some point in time, we're going to, I don't know, Zippy, when people called me Zippy once upon a time. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, I forgot all my duck jokes. I had a bunch of those back in the day when that was a thing with you.
Oh, they're still a thing. It's the Huskies that aren't.
Easy there. They were number 2 team in the country a couple years ago.
All right, whatever you say.
Okay, so sorry, you asked a good question there. So I think I'm okay with McLean. There's, I don't know how much utility is there. We've sort of hit on it. 13 games, 26 pitchers. That there's a lot of ways to differentiate. There's a lot of ways to differentiate on stacks. I mean, there's some good, what I think decent stacks that are coming in at 3% popularity. So tonight is one to let your heart lead the way and go with some of your personal preferences and hunches. And this is the perfect slate to be rolling out the 150 lineups or 20 or 50 or 100, whatever it is. But it's a multi-lineup night with all of the different options that are there. Remind you guys real quick, if you have not signed up for any of these operators here that I've got on the screen, all you got to do is click through the button here next to them. Not only do you get whatever their deposit bonus is, as soon as you create your, you have to come in through our link, create a deposit, create your first pick'em card, sports wager, whatever it might be. Send us a screenshot of that once it's settled via email to support@stokastic.com with your welcome email from the operator, and we will get you set up with 1 month of Stokastic single lineup sims for the sport of your choice. College football's right here. NFL's right around the corner. Of course, we have NBA in full swing. Again, you can get that week 1 NCAA football package for just $1. That does include the sims for the 5 games that are taking place tomorrow. The last guy I would throw out there is Jose Quintana. It's more kind of the adult in the room, if you will, as an SP2. He feels like he has the best. His upside's going to come to him through the win bonus and getting a quality start. And I don't think he's going to do much more than a quality start. You're excited if he gets more than 4 strikeouts tonight, but that salary, I think, is reasonable. When you get to Povich, the concern on him is in 4 of his last 8 starts, he has had 3 walks. But again, his strikeout rate has really ramped up this year. So that's sort of your upside dice roll there in that one. I think we've exhausted the pitching options. Someone mentioned Hauser in his first start in Tampa. He has made 3 starts for Tampa. All 3 have been on the road. So this is his first in Steinbrenner.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah. Do you like him, or is it time to flip over to talk about?
First off, he got lucky AF. No Alec Burleson, who was going to hit him a mile today. That was tilting. So ended up getting that scratched. And now Nolan Gorman flipping around. I think he's batting cleanup here now. It's just a better lineup to be facing than what it was before. But I really don't like Adrian Hauser. The guy, outside of limiting barrels, 5.5% barrel percentage, there's not a lot in his pitch mix that is all that appealing. He throws a sinker primary pitch. So he's just trying to go out there and survive every single time. And he has been for the most part. I was excited to stack against him here, but Alec Burleson was by far my favorite St. Louis bat, and he is not in the lineup anymore. It's a bummer.
Yep, that is a sad one. He was in my Yahoo lineup, so I had to address that. That reminds me, Yahoo is locking here in mere seconds. So if you're playing on the secret site today, you're going to want to get your lineups in. I should probably do run my sims here. Craft the sims, fire it up, have a good time here. One note on
the weather. There's nothing to talk about. There's no weather today. We have literally no weather today.
Some would say temperatures rising, barometers getting low, according to all sources.
Oh my God, please don't. Nobody needs that today. That's for sure.
Little Paul Schaefer classic there. Come on.
Oh,
come on. The weather girls. You know it's in your head now.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lanta.
Good times. Good times. With Assad, it looks like he is good for 60 to 70 pitches based upon his workload in the minors. I'm not sure how much of a bulk that is going to leave for Brown. He's probably good for around 3 innings himself. But that sort of.
I mean, we just saw this situation against Pittsburgh. I mean, they've capped him off right around 4 innings. He's gone 70, 65 pitches. He has pitched at the big league level the last 2. He hasn't been at AAA. So, I mean, we've seen this like exact situation. It's played out like to a T, 4-4 the last 2. I don't know what it is going forward, but obviously if he runs into a jam and then Ben Brown gets 6 innings or 5 innings, Ben Brown has the kind of strikeout stuff you would want against an Angels team that obviously strikes out. But Javier Assad, I can't do it. And I really can't do it with either of them anymore. It's kind of a bummer because I was hoping it was just Ben Brown and we could roll him out and hope he didn't die, but he'd probably die. It's probably saving us from ourselves, Joe Boyle style.
Sure. So on my screen, I'm just showing you guys, this is the best way to find minor league stats quickly is you go to Baseball Reference, click on minor and winter league stats, and then it activates the box score here. I need to magnify the screen, apparently. I had thought that he had made some minor league starts. I was not correct, but we can see 53, 68, 70, 65 pitches in his last 4 outings. So I'm a little concerned there for what Ben Brown will be bringing to the table. That said, who is your top stack of the night? The Cubbies coming in strong. I don't think we have that lineup yet, but they are near the top. But look how flat everything is. They're coming in at 8%. Houston right around the same. And then you got a whole plethora of teams between 4 and 5.5%. This is where the differentiation is coming from tonight. Even if we look at the popularity, the representation in tournaments, your top 10 stacks are between 4 and 8%. There shouldn't be a ton of overlap in tournaments tonight if you're just a little bit diligent. Who is your top stack?
I have a lot of them. I'm not over 12% in large field of any one particular stack. So me sitting here and saying, this is the team that I'm backing, you're not going to hear that necessarily. But I will say the team that I'm going to play for single entry today is very clear cut to me. It's very easy. It is the Tampa Bay Rays. I want to attack Miles Michaelis until forever. This is just such an awesome spot. And Carson Williams gets called up here. He is going to be pretty damn good as well at the big league level. Gives you another kind of look at shortstop here, 3K, batting 7th. You get 2,100 Gray. You don't really need to be playing him. But Brandon Lau, Seymour, who has 30 homers at the AAA level, batting 8th, very sneaky cheap bat. Fiducia, who's 2,200. I can easily play Brian Wu. I can easily play Nathan Eovaldi if I want to in single entry and still stack up Tampa against potentially the worst pitcher that still remains. Well, no, Antonio Senzatella is going to be pitching in like 2 minutes here. But as it stands right now, Miles Michaelis, 261 expected ISO against lefties, 218 expected ISO against righties, sub 16% K rate to both sides. I mean, all systems go nonstop. He's not pitching in St. Louis today. He can't get by on a ballpark. He will see balls leave the ballpark if he gives up the kind of contact he has been recently. So I am all aboard Tampa Bay. And then you get Chandler Simpson with his stolen base upside. You get Josh Lowe batting cleanup, Jake Mangum, who just finds ways to get on base despite just a 277 xWOBA. He just defies every hard hit metric ever. I think there's just a lot of ways to go about stacking up Tampa that I think they're the best for single entry. And there's not really a pitcher pulling tons of leverage. Like the White Sox would be the ones that if you made me in single entry where you're just like, hey, stack against the most popular pitcher. I think Zebie Matthews has a chance to end up being that in single entry, but I'm just going to target the AAA ballpark against a AAA pitcher.
All right. It's like you almost read the top stacks, spotlight pitchers and top stacks tool today.
Look at that
article today.
Look at that.
Because that is
I didn't, but I love you.
I went
I do love
as
you.
well. But I know you do not have the time to read this, but those of you out there should. It's free every day. Takes about 3 or 4 minutes to read, and I will almost always break out late slate plays for you or early slates if there are different slates here. So tonight we can see Brian Wu. It's going to be the late slate pitcher. An interesting one here. This takes us in the other direction. The Dodgers, incredibly contrarian today, going against Wu. We're really going to want to keep up at the top
not against Wu, against Darvish.
Right, against Darvish. Keep up at the top there with Freeman, Ohtani, Teoscar, Pages, Will Smith, etc. But when we did our early run of the projections today, they were coming in at less than 2% of a chance of being a top stack. That's how spread out things are. Now, we also want to remember that the bullpen for San Diego has been dramatically overhauled with lots of good arms. And because this is a crucial series for both teams, they're not going to leave pitchers out to eat innings or take one for the team in this particular matchup here. But I thought for the late slate, that was kind of interesting because I think so many people are going to be going to Chicago here. What else is speaking to you? There's plenty to cover, plenty to talk about here. I fully support that Tampa Bay. I like on the other side, St. Louis. You hit on that. Very disappointing with their lineup scratch there. But what else are you seeing as we meander through what looks to be a fun tournament puzzle here?
Well, yeah, the fun tournament puzzle also, we'll talk about the team pulling the most ownership, the Cubs. It's fantastic. Oh, Otto Lopez scratched. That's going to be a good strikeout replacement here for Shane Bieber. Whoever Otto Lopez is going to get replaced by, let me pull this up here because this is where I can kind of get quick. I always like to be the person who like throws out who the replacement is before it ends up showing, oh, it already showed up. That's annoying. Is it going to be Acosta or Wegman?
Well, I bet it's Wegman.
It's Acosta. Yep, there you go.
Oh, I'm wrong.
That's a bummer. I always like doing that, but It makes sense. Shortstop for shortstop, pretty quick replacement. But Acosta's so far 27.5% K rate. Otto Lopez is half of that. So Shane Bieber, far more intriguing option than what he was 2 seconds ago when a cleanup hitter gets replaced and everybody slides up one and you add a 27% K rate bat in there. So Acosta is no me gusta, or I guess Ryan Gusteau is pitching on the other side for them. So that's kind of fun, but I tried to find the joke in there. It wasn't there. I apologize.
You went for the gusto, that's for sure. You went for the gusto.
Oh my God. You see, and then you undercut me and now I'm hurt. But here's the thing. I don't know what to make of the Cubs lineup. I am assuming Justin Turner's in it. They haven't faced a lefty all week. And so Justin Turner hasn't played. I'm assuming he ends up in the lineup like batting 8th or 9th. Matt Shaw probably ends up in this lineup too. There's a lot of like overlap for some of the Cubs. I would assume Kyle Tucker gets another day off here. He ended up back in the lineup yesterday, but like he's been so bad and this hand is obviously bothering him big time. You've been able to see that since June when he just fell off a cliff. The data definitely is showing that he's probably hurt. And I'm glad to hear that there was some confirmation on that he's got some kind of a hairline fracture in it, but not happy to hear that, but happy to hear that that's the reason that he sucked rather than just being bad. I think he ends up out of the lineup.
Would you skip him in lineups intentionally to get some differentiation from the field, especially on that?
That's the thing, because like on the late slate, you're going to have the information, but on the main slate, that's where it gets most appealing because like we haven't projected batting second today, like his normal spot. I'm not convinced the Cubs want to roll him out against lefties, even though Tyler Anderson's been just awful against absolutely everybody against lefties. 298 ISO is insane to look at. 258 expected ISO. So he's technically given up more power and struck out lefties at a lower clip than righties. I see a lot of PCA love, as you should have. He has stolen base upside as well. And if you don't strike out PCA, he's going to put the ball in play. Like PCA doesn't walk. He just simply goes up there swinging for the fences. And I love that about him. But he hasn't been very good here either of late, but don't really care. Suzuki's the one who just jumps off the page to me today. Most people, he's going to jump off the page. 300 expected ISO against lefties, even though not a ton of bombs so far to this season from that side. Just a lot of teams that probably prefer to avoid bringing him out until they get to the PCA number of left on left, even though he's got 9 homers against lefties. But that's neither here nor there. Just pay attention to how this lineup shows up, because if it comes out after lock, there's a chance you get some really low owned pieces, because I see people that are projecting Kyle Tucker not to be in the lineup. And again, I'm probably more in that camp where if they're going to continue to give him days off, just do that Nico Horner, Ian Happ, Suzuki, have that be your 1, 2, 3, start off with the righties, Carson Kelly probably batting cleanup. And then you can mix in Casey if you want to go lefty there. Pete Armstrong, obviously batting 5th usually. Dansby Swanson. I just don't know.
And they got Willie Castro creating more flexibility for them.
Yeah, but Willie Castro's really bad from the right side. Willie Castro is primarily somebody that you want out there against righties. He's like another lefty bat for him. This season, it's been better. It's been better for him when he was with my Twins, but he's definitely more favorable from the left side.
Yeah, but the multi-position capability of probably utility infielder, I guess is the way. It's ample flexibility for him to allow that to happen. But I agree with we
don't have him in the projected lineup. That's what I'm getting at, is like there's so many different options of what the Cubs could do. And so the later that comes out, the more appealing they are to put together as a stack. So like if you want to take this path, I'm playing Tampa Bay early. I'm just going to play a lot of Tampa. It looks like, again, not a lot, 12%. They're my highest owned stack at 12%, and they're my single entry team. But I'm just so flat. Other teams to be looking at, I like Houston against Cade Povich, who gives up power to absolutely everybody. It's not as good of weather as what we've had in some like Baltimore games here recently, but 80 degrees, wind across the field, pretty neutral. It's not blowing in by any means, where we have seen some of those. And you get Pena and Correa that overlap a little bit, but now Correa, I think, got third base eligibility on DraftKings, and they've just like at least set that up so you can put that stack together a little bit better than what it was before, where it's just like they were both at shortstop and you couldn't stack it. Now you can. You have Urias. Does he have revenge in his heart? Second base eligible as well. It's just an easier stack to put together. And Ganner Diaz, probably one of the more popular catcher options today as well. I think there's just a lot of ways that we can put these lineups together, and Houston's just a more appealing stack, which is why they're, one of the higher top values. I think our second top value, sitting there with a little positive leverage. What do you think about Milwaukee, though? Because Carson Whisenhunt, I want to attack him. I think he's awful, but he strikes out lefties at a pretty ridiculous clip. And I'm not saying that he's going to be surviving all of the righties, because I don't think he will. But what are we doing with Milwaukee?
Milwaukee is just the death by 1,000 paper cuts. They're a malleable lineup. They're constantly playing the platoon game. You never know for sure who's going to get there. They've had 3 different 11-game winning streaks. They are second or third in total runs scored. Yet I never know who I want to play on a game-to-game basis. I believe it would be Andrew Vaughn stands out from the cleanup slot here, but that's going to cost.
I'm playing him in my single entry lineup for what it's worth. Yeah,
he would probably be my favorite. I think Isaac Collins is another good option, but there's a couple spots in between those guys with Sal Frelick, who I'm not particularly a fan. Good real life baseball player, but disappointing from a DFS perspective. Those would be the main guys. I'd probably throw in William Contreras, but now I'm skipping spots there. But those would be the guys I'd like to go to against Whisenhunt. Christian Yelich, not as good as he was earlier in the season in lefty-lefty matchups, but last year he was phenomenal. But he's still 2-time batting champion, former MVP, finally out of his multi-season slump. He's looking pretty good. I wouldn't be afraid to take him, but that would be like leaving him out is a great way to differentiate within Milwaukee stacks. Same thing of leaving Mookie Betts out of Dodgers stacks. Good way to differentiate. If Tucker is in the lineup, and we know that, leaving him out, these are the guys that aren't performing well, or a lot of that are going to be in most stacks. So even though we're already differentiating from the field with a lot of these stacks, now you're fighting within that cohort of 3 to 5% that they're going to have that particular guy. You can just immediately get unique by going away from one of those struggling guys.
Yeah, it's just a very fascinating slate. All I can do is tell you how I'm playing it, and these bots need to disappear into the shadow realm. So here we go. I got him.
Okay,
I'm here.
Thank you. I got to quickly build out some lineups here. I'm going to the single lineup sim for FanDuel on the screen.
Let's do it. Let's build a couple of these out, and then obviously our sponsor DraftKings want to give them some love here as we get ourselves out of here in 10 minutes. We got plenty of time, but I do think this is a day where a lot of teams are in play. I mean, it's weird to have absolutely no interest in the lefties against Zach Littell when they're Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte. It's weird to have very little interest in the Angels, considering Javier Assad is not all that good, and Ben Brown backing him up is even worse with a 47% hard hit, 473 expected slugging. You could make a case for a lot of teams that are just on the outside looking in on this slate, but Michaelis is confirmed so horrible. K. Povich is convinced, he's just so horrible. Early exposure to some of these games before we get the Cubs lineup, I just basically want to go after the can't miss. There's no way that they're potentially going to even walk into 7-8 strikeouts in a million years. And I want to be on one side of the game kind of stacks rather than because again, Zebie Matthews, I just don't think this is the kind of slate to be stacking up the White Sox here. There's just so many other teams that have higher ceilings that I think it's an unnecessary bit of leverage that you're going for.
So if you're building out, we didn't even talk about the Yankees hardly at all.
Brian Bayo sucks too. So there you go. But he gets a lot of ground balls. And you look at the Yankee props today, it's kind of shocking. It's the same way that I feel sometimes when Jose Soriano's on the mound, where I update my sheet and it basically is taking a look at all the odds for everything on the specific day. I find it insane to see Trent Grisham plus 450 coming off of a couple dongs and what he's been effective doing up against a righty. Ben Rice is plus 400 best available. Ryan McMahon, further down the lineup, first time being back in a little bit, but I do think these are some higher numbers. Judge even was sitting at, where was it at? Plus 234 on Novig, plus 225. These are higher numbers on even a Judge who's been routinely inside of plus 200 against everybody this entire year. So is the home run potential there in the same way? Probably not, but it's still Yankee Stadium. It's still Brian Bayo, not good.
Who would you put in your Cardinal stack?
Well, I don't have a Cardinal stack anymore. I'm sure I do in my large field stuff in my 150 set, but I'm looking at like my 5 main lineups that I built out that I'm playing in like some 3 max stuff and other things. I was going to have the Cardinals. I was going to have Alec Burleson and everything else. I ended up taking it out and replacing it with a Cubs filler for now. That, again, I don't know what that lineup's going to look like, but I just hated that Alec Burleson got scratched. That really hurt my feelings.
So who is your single lineup stack? We got that question.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Other side of that game.
In chat and Discord, where you guys can reach us if you are interested for such things. We got a question about what is the best FanDuel stack today. I would lean towards, I actually like the Yankee stack I built out. Second one I would go to would be Tampa Bay, really focusing on the top 3 guys. You can take or leave Josh Lowe. He does have the platoon advantage and is batting cleanup, but his numbers are pretty weak. But then again, Miles Mikolas, the Lizard King, kind of a weak pitcher at this point in his career. It's always fun. I'm going to miss not having him around in the MLB. Hopefully he's an announcer or something.
Who?
Mikolas.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to miss him too, but he shouldn't have a job right now.
No, he shouldn't, but he's got a great baseball story.
Oh, I don't even know like the in-depth ins and outs of his baseball story. All I know is that his story for me is that he used to get strikeouts and be good, and now he doesn't do either of those things.
He had a four-year sojourn to Japan.
I did know that.
And I believe he got the nickname the Lizard King because in minor leagues or whatever, he ate a lizard that was in the dugout one day.
All right, we got Jeff Williams, 6089, 499. Thank you for the super chat. Pick 2 teams to guarantee to win, please. I have a $3,000 bonus bet on DK. I'm thinking Toronto, Milwaukee. All right, does it have to be outrights? Does it have to be picking teams? Because, like, also the question becomes, how important is the money to you? Because there are ways of really ramping up your upside and potentially having an amazing middle opportunity. There's ways of reducing your risk and just going to some of the favorites. My favorite outright, I only bet one team. It wasn't even a money line. It was a -1 run line, Texas. So, I mean, Texas is the team that I have the most confidence in. Toronto, no Otto Lopez in there, Shane Bieber. It's always unlikely that, you know, you're going to get burned by one of those big favorites, but like, there's not a ton of value in that. So like, the question just becomes, how important is the money to you?
Let's assume he's trying to bet 2 because he wants to get like a 2.7x or whatever, because he's going on 2 money lines.
Yep.
I would say, what do you think about Milwaukee or probably Minnesota?
Let me just, I'm just going to pull my stuff up so that I can give him an actual answer of 2 outrights. It's going to be different than my favorite bet. So if you're just looking for a favorite bet, there are some props that I think are better. The Rangers are my favorite money line relative to what they're at. They're -161 over on DK. And let's see. Pirates just started, so otherwise I would have said them against Senzatella just as like a money line favorite. I will go. Man, this is kind of brutal as far as the favorites go. I wouldn't want to back the Yankees as favorites there. I'd say the Mariners. I know you're embracing a -200 there, but Brian Wu against Oakland, I feel pretty good about that one. But I wouldn't bet it normally, so letting it be known. Hopefully that's helpful to you, Jeff. Because again, it's all price and probability when it comes down to betting, and like -200. I mean, they're your second biggest favorite on the board for a reason there, so they're the most likely. So if you're trying to cash in that ticket today, I really do like the idea of just taking the Texas and Seattle side and just rolling it out that way. But I think there's better value than what you're getting on the Seattle side.
All right, I'm running my lineups here. I see my Yahoo errored out. That's okay. It's only money. At least I have a viable lineup, so we'll ride with that. I'm going to put my FanDuel lineups here. We've got 4 minutes until a lock. We talked about the Stokastic link join offer. We talked about how you could get Some good deals currently on DraftKings Best Ball. 3 different ways to get a free $20 ticket are currently available there, plus a $100 ticket. All you got to do is go to their rewards page, and you can see all of that. We've got NFL preseason going. If you want to get a hijacked computer, click on one of these spam bot links that keep popping up here.
I've got it. You just do your thing. I've got the bots. You're fine. My lineups have been in for 10 minutes, so you're just fine.
You're a true professional here. You're a true professional.
I am. You had to bring it up, though. You didn't have to bring it up. Just do your thing. Do your thing. You do your thing. I'll see if there's any other questions that we've got going. Yeah,
there's
just
one
get
question. Who is your dong of the day?
Oh, God.
Dong of the day. It's the dong of the day. Cha cha cha. That was for you, Sotex. That was for you. You're my boy. Seiya Suzuki, dong of the day.
I hate you. I actually hate you. I don't mind that call for what it's worth. Shorter odds than I'd want to be betting here at this point. I got to go Brandon Lau. I mean, it's got to be Brandon Lau. I bet him. I'm playing him in single entry. I think he's just in an unbelievable spot. Miles Michaelis, until he retires, is going to be attackable with lefties. So Brandon Lau all day.
All right. We're just going to go with God on this update here. I put in my 144 lineups, download that, and see what happens. By the way, 3 different top finishes by me in the quarter contest over the last week and a half on FanDuel. If you guys are rocking the Stokastic avatar, you could have turned that into 3 months of Stokastic single sims goodness. All you got to do is go to the Stokastic single lineup, or probably the Stokastic Hall of Fame page, download a Stokastic avatar, upload that to your DFS site of choice, finish top 3 in any contest with that Stokastic avatar, take a screenshot and tweet that to Stokastic HOF on Twitter and email support@stokastic.com. Tell us what you would like, and we will get you set up with 1 month of Stokastic single sport sims. There are many levels. There are many avatars. Here are all the rules. You guys can check that out on your free time. That is the Stokastic Hall of Fame. Final thoughts here, Mr. Lindquist, as we get ready for a fun Friday night.
I don't have anything else to say other than hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to be in the Tails Discord, the Lindy Discord, doing my thing all weekend long, betting some baseball. If you guys are looking to jump over there, hit me up over on X at Eric Lindquist. Would love to have new faces, great faces, great places, South Dakota, but also the Liddy and Friends Discord.
All right. Chat saying Mrs. Emac must not be home. No, she's home. I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at for singing that song. And for those asking about the dog that didn't sound like Duke, that was my dog barking. She is 9 pounds, so 100 pounds lighter than Duke.
Yeah, this dog is passed out. He is. There's not a lot of things that could wake him up at the moment. He is out like a light, a light.
With that, we're going to get on out of here. You guys can find Eric on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. You can find me at EMAC DFS. And of course, it is Stokastic_COM. Hit that like button and good luck.